lab. So this is our laboratory. So we're going to see 5 throughout this semester. Okay, so what are the designs we're going to see, so you just see. Can you all able to see the screen? I'll share the screen now. Can you all able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you all able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the
Yes.
list of experiment we're going to see in lab for the semester. Okay, so our first experiment, design and drawing of reinforced cement concrete cantilever and with reinforcement details. Okay, so that is the first experiment we're going to cover. So that also has a split up. Okay, so cantilever, we're going to see the retaining wall. So we're going to see the design and drawing of cantilever to cover the design and drawing of the counterfort retaining wall. So there is a difference between the cantilever and retaining wall and counterfort retaining wall. So that is our first experiment. So our second experiment is design of solid slab concrete beam bridges for IRC. IRC means what? Indian Road Congress. Okay, loading and reinforced detailing. So that is our experiment, second experiment. With the split ups. Okay, so concentrating on the first experiment, so our first experiment is design and drawing of reinforced cement concrete cantilever. So that is the first part of the experiment, and the second part of the experiment is design and drawing of the reinforced concrete counterfort retaining wall. Okay, so this is the thing we're going to see now. Okay, so before that, you are having the subject called D. So you are having the subject called DSCBM. So
Yes, sir.
having or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you are having right that subject. Yeah. So in the first unit of masonry design, so retaining wall is the first design you are seeing. Okay, so that will be, I think. Okay, so before we going into the class, so what is your knowledge on retaining wall? So what do you mean by retaining wall? So that is covered already, I think. So you just tell me what do you mean by, and what is the purpose of retaining wall, and how you can make, or how you can construct a retaining wall. So these are the things. So it will be covered. So can anyone answer what do you mean by retaining wall first? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, retaining was
tell me.
designed to resist the soil, sir. Slope.
Yeah, resist the soil. Like manual walls is there, no? So the map of bricks and mortars. Okay, if you consider the retaining wall, so it is made up of reinforced concrete. Okay, so I hope you heard about reinforced concrete. To using that material, you will be. So the retaining wall is used in the hilly regions, not only in the hilly regions where you're going to resist the soils. Okay, so there will be a massive mass of soil which may present at. So there will be a massive mass of soil which is needed to be retained by the wall. During that time, you cannot go for the masonry wall. Okay, it will be destructed. Okay, so for in order to avoid that consequences, so you go for the retaining wall, so which is of reinforced type. Okay, so first we'll see our retaining wall, which has been covered already, but I'll go with the design one more time so that as a refreshing content. Okay, so I'll share the screen now. Can you all able to see the screen? Can you all able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So also, what do you mean by different retaining wall? Retaining wall, which is used to retain some materials or soils on the both on the all the sides. Okay, so the examples of the retaining wall, in which are all the places you can go for the construction of the wall with reinforcement. You know, so you can go for retaining wall on use the retaining wall, and bridge abutment you can go use the retaining wall, and underground water tank you can use the retaining wall. So why you need to go for this retaining wall in these cases? Why you need to? Just a second. So they said basement floor. So if you imagine the basement floor, so the top floor of your building is, in the sense, you can stay, or you can have your work, or you can place the thing, what are the things which is useful to you. So that is the use of. Yeah, that is different. Okay, so during that places, there is no pressure on the walls. Okay, there is no pressure on the walls. There will be no load will be applied on the wall. Only slab, from the slab it will be transmitted to the beam, and from the beam it will be transmitted to the column, then it has been transmitted to the foundation. But if you see the basement, so if you see the basement floor, surrounding of the wall will be under the pressure of the soil. Only this place you can use. So this is the place where you can use it for vehicle. But this is there, no. So this utilities is there, no. It will be filled fully by the soils. Okay, it will be fully by the soil. It tends to push the direction. While pushing, if it is a normal wall, it will break. So it will break, and there will be no walls, and this all those portions will be filled by the soil. So during we go for the retaining wall design here. So if you provide the retaining wall on the both directions, then it will resist the which is arise due to the soil particle which is present here. Okay, so this is the ground surface. Okay, this is the ground surface, ground level. So this is the ground level. So below the ground level part. Okay, so only this will be the usable part of the building. So the surrounding parts will be filled by the soil. In order to resist this pressure, you go for the design and construction of the retaining wall. If you cases, you know, above the ground level, so the above the ground level there will be no soil mass. Okay, it is a free space. Okay, there will be no soil mass. Ultimately you may get the wind load. Okay, you may get the wind load. Okay, so it is necessary that it is not necessary that the wall which is above the ground level has to be constructed using. Okay, so this is the purpose you go for the retaining wall design. So now, so what do you mean by design? So this is the retaining wall will have the base which act as a foundation part, and the wall which is constructed and connected monolithically. Monolithically means what? This particular portion is there. No, you cannot identify whether it is monolithically connected. So two things joined together as a single unit. So that is called monolithical unit. Okay. So the base and the wall is connected of the cantilever retaining wall. So cantilever retaining wall in the sense what? So this is the way it appears. Okay, it has a base and the wall. So if you see here, things is there is a slanting soil mass also, or there is even surface also. So there are different cases may be there. So whatever ways it can be it has been provided. Okay, so the first case is horizontal fill. Okay, so the first case with horizontal fill, and the second case is with the third case is surcharge. Surcharge in the sense not only in this portion soil is filled, so this portion also some portion of the soil is filled. Okay, so this is the another way. can be provided. So the next way is L-shaped cantilever wall. L-shaped cantilever wall is in the sense what? Only the base is provided at the one end. It is not provided at the another end. Okay, so first L-shaped also the cantilever wall can be placed. Okay, so to consolidate all those things. Okay, so why we say this as a cantilever wall? Okay, so what do you mean by cantilever? Anyone know about the cantilever action of the beam? So what do you mean by cantilever beam? Anyone know? What do you mean by cantilever beam?
One
One
side
side
fixed.
fixed, another fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
So the cantilever beam is one side is, so that is why you call the beam as a cantilever beam. Likewise, if you apply the same concept here, okay, the cantilever retaining wall, the wall is on the one side to the base, on the another side it is free. Okay, so that's why we call the retaining wall as a cantilever. Okay, so you should know the purpose and the usage and the application of the structure. What are the things you are designing? Okay, so this is about the appearance and different kinds of cantilever retaining wall. No, so that is over. If you see about the counterfort retaining wall, so the counterfort retaining wall, you know, so there is a base. Okay, the wall also, that also will not change. The additionally there is a support between the wall and the base. Okay, so there is a provision for wall and the base. The wall and the base are supported by the slanting unit called counterfort. Okay, so with the retaining wall, the counterfort, additionally one element is added retaining wall. So why you go for the counterfort retaining wall, you know? So the generally the retaining wall height has to be considered, depends upon the site condition. So depends upon the, so if you see the hilly region, if the wall height is lesser than 3 meters, you need not to reinforce the wall also. By using the stones and the mortar, you can construct the retaining wall are called as a gravity retaining wall. So that is the first type of retaining wall. Since it is not reinforced, we are not seeing about that. Okay, so as a theoretical thing we are seeing. Okay, so cantilever gravity retaining wall. So if the height is between 3 meter to 6 meter, then it is a cantilever retaining wall. That thing we are, one end of the wall is fixed with the base, so that's why it is called as a cantilever retaining wall, and other end is free and it will be loaded. Okay, so that is called cantilever retaining wall. So the next thing is, if the height is wall need to be constructed greater than the 6 meter, so during that cases, you know, you have to provide the support for the wall to stand, because the height is increasing. So if the height is, indirect meaning is the amount of soil which is going to be filled or which is going to be carried by that particular wall also is increased. Okay, so due to all those, we going to provide the support for the wall. Okay, so we have provided the support for the wall. So the thing is, in which way you're going to from the zero. So it is a starting of the wall, you know. So at the every 3 meters the counter fort is provided. Okay, so every 3 meters in the sense, so it is a starting point that is starts at 0. The next point will be the next third meter, you will provide the counter fort. After the after next 3 meters you will provide the another counter fort. The distance between the two counter fort is 3 meters. Okay, so like as you see in the reinforced concrete element, you know, so in that subject you will be seeing, no, 10 mm dia bars at 200 mm spacing or 300 mm spacing, like that. So you will be provided the counter fort, you will be provided the support One second, someone is entering the class. Likewise, you will be provided the support at every 3 meters of your difference between the cantilever and counterfort retaining wall. Okay, so that is the thing. So then we will go for the design of cantilever retaining wall. So have we covered? So cantilever retaining wall has been designed, has been covered or not? Yes, answer me. So cantilever design has been covered.
Yes, sir. Till step 5.
Yes, sir.
Covered, right? What you should. So like in the DSCBM itself, the design of cantilever retaining wall has been covered. We will directly go for the before that. So some of the highlighted things I want to share with you. Okay, so what are the things you should know? So you should be able to know the process, and you should be able to know the process of designing the base is nothing but the foundation. Okay, so the foundation part you have to design. So after designing the foundation part, you have to go for the design. It has been covered. Okay, so this is at the end. So this is the detailing part, right? So how can you so how can you connect this particular design to the drafting? Up to this we have covered about the retaining wall, and designs has been covered in the DSCBM classes also. So at the end of the design, so this is called notes. Okay, so this is the notes you are getting. Okay, so provide main reinforcement and provide main reinforcement of 12 mm at 180 mm spacing. So this is the motto of the design. So what is the what is requirement of designing? So at the end of the design, you decide the dimension of the rod, that is diameter of the rod, as well as the spacing of the rod. Okay, so that is the main purpose of designing. Okay, so what is the main reinforcement dia, and what is the spacing between the two main reinforcement? Likewise, you will be provided the supplementary reinforcement or secondary reinforcement. Okay, so that also, what is the reinforcement of the supplementary and spacing? So you are getting as a results, no? So that are the things you are getting. Okay, so at the end roughly you are drawn, no? So in which way the CAD going to help to you the accuracy, and it has a tool to draw the same drawing into the softwares. Okay, so today basic tools which is used in the CAD drafting tool. Okay, so while we speak about the CAD lab, by CAD, what are the things you know about the CAD? So CAD software, so what is the thing you know about that? What is
Yes,
the
sir.
nature of the software? Yes, share me about that particular nature and applicants of the AutoCAD software.
So CAD is in both the 2D and 3D dimension.
Yeah, you can draw on in the through 2 dimensional or 3 dimensional. You can draw the drawings. Okay, so that is the one usage. So what is the next thing? what is the next usage? Okay, no issues. Okay, so generally CAD is a bigger note. Okay, so bigger note in the sense what will do with a note. So you can draw the drawings in the note, you know. So if the dimension of the drawing is more, like if you want to draw the 3 meter or 10 meter sized beam or the column, you cannot 3 meter sized note. Okay, so the size of our note will be hardly, if you say it in meter, it will be in points only, point 1 or point 2. You can be able to draw that particular bigger dimensioned drawings in the note. So it's not possible, no, but it can be made possible using the scale. Okay, in the maps, no, you can come across the concept of scale. Okay, one like 1 centimeter equal to 2.5 kilometer, or 1 centimeter is equal to 5 kilometers. One second. Likewise, can you all able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Shall we proceed? Yes or no?
yes, sir.
How can you draw the bigger sized dimension in notebook, you know? So that can be made possible using the concept of scaling in the sense you could have come across 1 centimeter equal to 5 kilometers. Based upon the accuracy they require, they fix the scales. Okay, so by using this you can draw the things. Okay, so AutoCAD, in which way it accuracy. Okay, it can maintain the scale in the regular intervals. Okay, so in the regular interval it can maintain the scale. Even though you can able to change, if you want to change the scale also, it then if you have any errors in your drawings, so the erasing portions that you can erase, and you can come back to the uh, come back to the drawing from that point. Okay, so that are the things it allows. So even that, so that is the applications you get, but you should know the difference between the other software between the software. If you see that analysis software is there, no, stat pro is there, then etabs is there, so that is different from the CAD. You cannot draft in the stat pro or etab. Okay, but the stat pro and etab you can analyze. Okay, so like virtually you can form the structure, and virtually you can apply the role, virtually you can form the structure, and virtually you can have the effect of applying the load. You applied the load, what is happening to the structure, so it tends to bend, right? So from that you get the bending moment. See, based upon the bending moment and shear force intensity, you are deciding, no, so that is different. Okay, so that can be made possible using that kind of software called AutoCAD or StatPro. But if you see the CAD drafting software, in the sense you can just draw, you cannot analysis or anything. But the thing is, the for the purpose of accuracy, and for the purpose of make, like it can be it can be made possible. So if you want to copy the different elements, same element in the different places, so by using the AutoCAD, it is easy. So these are all the things we can made possible by using the AutoCAD. Okay, so now I'll share the screen. So I'll be opening the CAD software now. Can you all able to see the screen? Can you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So soon after clicking that icon, AutoCAD icon, okay, if you are installed means, so you'll have the icon at your system. This is the thing which will be opened. Okay, so this is the thing which will be open. So after that, so what you should know, you can start the click on this thing. So the drawing will be started. Okay, so this is the screen where you're going to draw. Okay, so already we have designed and we have the drawing there. So before going into the design drawing of that particular retaining wall, so you have to have some the CAD software. So this is the CAD software and this is the place where you're going to draw. Okay, so where you're going to draw. So if you see above, there are different options is there. And it's only to save your drawing. In which locations you're going to save? Save in the sense for particular thing you're going to. So if you are drawn something means so file save as in the sense in the particular location you will be saving your drawing, so that is called save as. That is a general thing. So apart from that, edit option is there. So in the edit and insert in the sense you can ready-madely insert some of the objects from the another source of drawing to this drawing. Okay, so that is the insert thing. Former tools in the sense generally tools is used to draw. So after the draw, so there are different things there to draw. In the sense it is a measurement. Okay, so if you draw the length of 1 meter in the sense, so it will give you the measurements. Okay, likewise modify, you can modify your drawing and parametric window help. So these are all the general tools which is available in the AutoCAD software. Apart from this, what you should do after opening the software, so it will be opened like this. Okay, so after that, if you start the drawing, so this screen will open to you. So then after that, like it depends upon requirement. If you want the grid like this, you can leave it. If you don't want your grid, if you see here, no grid display grid. If you click on this, it will be off. So drawing screen. Then if you need the grid also, if you on this again, so the grid will appear to this screen. Okay, so the grid will be of some distance. Length of the grid will be of 1 centimeter, or it will be in the some scale. Okay, 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter. It will be in one scale. Okay, so if you're going to draw the drawings of regular size, then you can have the grids. Okay, if you're going to have the irregular drawings, okay, then you need not have the grid. So preferably you can have the grid as per my suggestion. Can you able to see the screen? So I have just moved away. Can you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So either you can off the grid or on the grid. That depends upon your requirement. So after opening the, how to set the limits. So LIMITS. If you type LIMITS, so that is called limits. So limits in the sense, what is the meaning of? Specify the limit. Okay, 0 to 0 comma 0. So that is the one limit you are specified. So that is the one corner you are specified. Okay, 0 comma 0 is it starts from the 0. So that is the one corner. So then you specify the another upper right corner. So another upper right corner is your starter from the 0. So up to which so you can have the values of your own. So generally you can have the values of or 1000. I am taking 10,000 comma 10,000. Limit is has been set. Okay, start from the 0. So one end of the upper portion it is a 0. So up to which extent you need. Okay, limit you have to set. So the first limit and limit is I have taken 10,000 comma 10,000, but it depends upon you. Okay, so if you depends upon the size of your drawing. Okay, so if you're going to draw some bigger thing, so then you can go for the more limits. So as of now I'm fixing the limit to be up to 10,000 comma 10,000. Okay, limits is lower. So you have to fix the units units. So if you type the units like this, it will appear. Okay, so then click on enter. Okay, so first you have to click if you have to type limits, and that you have to type the units and you have to type enter. Okay, precision in the sense, so in which format you need. Okay, so you need the format, you need the or point zeros. For example, you are drawn the 7 meters line in the CAD. So if you are using the precision as 0.0, it will mention as 7.0 meter. Means you can go for 0. So then it will show us 7 meters. Okay, so it is a precision, and there are different inches and feet, miles, millimeter, centimeter, meters, kilometers, micro inches, miles. There are different types of units is there. We use the millimeters. Okay, so millimeters. Then click on OK. So we have fixed the limit and you have fixed the units. Okay, so these two things over. This is the mandatory thing to be done when you open the CAD software. Okay, so soon after opening the software, you have to click on the limits and you have to fix your unit. Okay, so what are the values I have told? So you just have the notes. Okay, limits and units have the been fixed. So after completing the limits and drawing lines, okay, drawing arrays, construction lines, multi lines, poly lines, there are different types of the things is there. By one. Okay, so if you see line, what is the shortcut for line? So if you type L, only L and enter. Okay, so nothing. Okay, so you click on one particular point, then you go for the drawing the line. So before that, I'll another option. If you see here ortho, so if the ortho is on, so you can move the line along the 90-degree directions only. So it starts from the 0-degree direction, so it is a 0-degree direction. No, so it can go for the 90 and 180, 270, again 360. So like this only you can move. If you don't want like this ortho, so if you are having the, if your ortho option is, you can have the angular lines. Angular line in the sense in different angle, you can orient your line. So whenever you require, you click on the ortho on. Whenever you know are not needed, you can off the ortho. Okay, so as of now I am on the ortho. You have chosen the unit as millimeter, so you should know the conversions also. So 1 centimeter equal to how many millimeters? Okay, 1 centimeter. Guys, if you want to draw the 5 centimeters line, so then you have to mention it as what? Then you have to mention it as what?
0.5.
50 millimeters. Okay. No. What I said is you need to draw. Sorry, 5 centimeter length. Okay. So if you want to draw the line of 5 centimeter in millimeters, what is the value? You have to multiply with 10. I'm sorry. So Okay, likewise, so 5 meters into 10 will give you 50. Okay, so then do you know? So click on one thing and type it as 50. Then 5 centimeter line will be formed. Okay, so it is somewhat. If you scroll your cursor, it can be visible. So the another way of making the drawing is visible. You know, you have set enter and then whichever the places the drawing is there, it will appear in your screen. Okay, scroll your mouse. Some visibility. Okay, so we have drawn the line. So after drawing the line, what is the next thing in the draw tool? You know, so there is a draw lines. So after the draw lines, what are the things you should know? You know, so you should know about the drawing of some shapes. Okay, some shapes in the sense there are different types of shapes. Is there rectangle? Is there hexagon also is there? Most predominantly while drawing for the while drawing our so the top view of the structures, we use the rectangle more often. Okay, so what is the shortcut for the rectangle is REC. So click on REC. Then you can specify, and the next thing is you have to specify the size of the rectangle. So if you click on the 50, so that is the rectangle will have the length of 50 centimeter height. Okay, so that is the way you can draw the rectangle. Okay, apart from that, what are the things you should know for drawing this particular retaining wall? You know, so the line you should know about the offset. So offset is offset in the sense the same length of the line will be replicated above or below uh, to some separating of some distance. Okay, so how will you offset the object? You know, O, you click on the O, so it appears no offset. So click on O and the option offset option is on. So after that you specify the distance. Okay, specify the distance. You know, so from this point what can be the distance it can have of 25 millimeter. Okay, so click on 25 millimeter of specify offset distance. So for that 25 millimeter and click on enter. So then the data has been stored. Primary object. Okay, so primary object has been clipped, then you click there. Okay, so the thing is the same length of line has been formed of 25 millimeter. How can you the length of this line and the length of the this line is same? So then and how can you ensure the distance? How can you ensure? You know, so by using the dimension option. So click on the dimension option. So you just click on the one side. So if you see here, we drawn the length of 50 millimeter. Okay, likewise, so as I told already, offset is the creation of the same. So click on the one end, sorry, click on the one end of the line. So after that, click on the another end of the line. So the same, the length of the line is same. Offsetted this particular line to that particular line to a distance of 25 millimeter. So how will you ensure the 25 millimeter? You know, the distance is 25 millimeter. So this is the way you offset the things. So why you need to know about the offset? Okay, so you just have the tools. What are the things we are using? So when we are, you can able to correlate these things. Okay, so this is the purpose we about the line, and this is the purpose we are seeing about the offset. So the second thing, so the second thing you should know about the trimming. Okay, so you should know about the trimming. So what is the, I'll say it again. So click on the line option, L, enter, then draw a line. Yeah, any disturbance is there? Yes. Shall I proceed? Shall I proceed or not? Shall I proceed or not?
Yes.
Yes or no? Shall we proceed?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have seen about the drawing the line, and we have seen about the dimensioning the line. Dimensioning the line. No, so we have a target of drawing a line of 50 millimeter of length. So you can ensure whether you have drawn the particular dimension correctly or not by using that tool. So after offset, okay, offset options we have seen. So after that we can see about the trim. No, so I'll see about the trim. So you are drawn like click on L. So drawn of like 200 millimeters. Okay, so you are drawn the line. Okay, so that is over. But like this it will be there. So how can you come out of drawing the line? If you click on the escape option, escape icon, this will the line drawing, you are drawn the line. So then what you're going to do, you're going to split the of 70% and 30%. So what is the 70% of 200 meter? The 70% will be around like 140 140 140 length will be the 70% of 200. Going to split into two, so you're going to cut off the 60 60 millimeter length line. Okay, so how will you cut off? Like if you for that one, so first you should split the screen, split the line. Okay, you click on the line options, then from here, so you click on 140. So then, so you draw a rough line like this. So after that, so what are you going to do? So the splitted. So this is the length of line, 100 mm. Okay, so we have drawn the line. 200 mm. So you're going to cut off this portion. Okay, so how will you cut off this portion? So TR for trimming, I'm saying TR, double enter. So you have to enter. You have to type the TR and you should double enter. So for the other options, it is one. Like if you consider the offset option and all. So you just enter the O and you just click type O, and the trim option you have to click on, you have to type the TR, then you have to enter 2 times enter. So then only your this options will be entered, this options will be enabled. You just click this, then it will go off. Okay, so after that you can delete this rough line. You can delete this rough line, and if you see the dimension now, if you see the dimension now, then if you see the dimension now, then you are getting the line, desired line of 140 length. Okay, so the thing is, the has been reduced into 140. How can you reduce the line? By using the trim option only. So by using the trim option, we got the length. Okay, so this is the way you use the trim option. So what is the another option you can use, so roughly I'll draw some plan here, so you can copy the same. So here I'm going to draw a rectangle. So the first point is, so this is the first corner, my rectangle, and the breadth is 50. So then you got the rectangle like this. So after getting the rectangle now, so what is the wall thickness, so the wall 230 millimeters, so the wall thickness will be 230 millimeters. So you just click on the offset option, then you enter. So after that, you have to specify the offset distance 230, then you will get like this. So click on the preliminary object, so then you will get. Distance has been set. There is a issues in the software. Okay, one second. So click and specify the distance. So the distance 230. So then you select the object distance. Likewise, it can be offsetted, so that it can be offsetted. Okay, so this is the way you can you have drawn something. Okay, there is a structural building here. So you have your structure here. This is the wall which has been constructed around this particular building. Okay, so what are you going to do, so we're going to see about the mirror options, right? In which way the mirror option will be helpful to you. So the same element can be copied. Okay, how can you copy, so you just in that place you just right click on the things, and you just select the has been selected. So you can just in one way you can copy. So CO enter is the shortcut for copy. So CO enter, if you will be get the enability of the copy option. So after that you just specify the any base point. So from that base point you can have n number of. So the ortho option is on, so you can off the ortho option, so that you can place the object wherever you want. Okay, so during that time you can have the ortho option. Okay, likewise you can copy the same, in the same way you can mirror the element also. So for mirroring the element, what can you do? You can just select this particular thing. So after that the sense mi, for copy you have to type CO, for mirror you have to type mi. So you have to type on mi and just enter. So you have to specify the first point. So wherever you want. Okay, so likewise. So while mirroring, so this option will appear. Okay, here is the source object. So we don't want to error. Okay, so erase the source object. Likewise, you can mirror and you can copy the elements. Okay, so this is the thing. So after one option which is useful to make, or which is useful to highlight the. Okay, so for highlighting the primary reinforcement, we can use the line option. For highlighting the secondary reinforcement, you can use the tool called donuts. Okay, so donuts in the sense like if you draw option, so donut is, you can click on the donut option. So specify the outer dia. So the outer dia of the donut is nothing but the dimension of the rod. Okay, so if you are using 10 mm dimension of the rod, so inner center point is here. So then you got the donuts, right? So this is the donut. Okay. Likewise, you can form the donuts. Okay, at the center line, at the on the same regular line. Okay, so donut option is must be known. Retaining wall. Okay, so we'll draw the retaining wall in the next class, but roughly we'll try. Okay, so how can you? What is the appearance of the retaining wall? You have to click on the line, then enter the length retaining wall. So it will be like this. So the thickness of the base will be 450 mm. See here, this is the most unwanted portions, so that portions can be so. This can be the base of the retaining wall. So after that you can draw the wall also. Generally, the thickness of the wall will be minimum at the top and will be maximum at the bottom. Okay, so that you should have the slanting line. For the slanting line, so for during that time, so you have to off the ortho option. So you have to off the ortho option. So this will be the so this will be the rough sketch of the retaining wall. Okay, so then you have to go for the detailing. So while detailing, so what are the commands can be to draw the retaining wall. So for the today's class, what you're going to do, so you are just complete the observe for this retaining wall. So even though the design is covered in the CPM, so our first experiment is design and drawing of retaining wall only. We have covered the design part and basic tools of AutoCAD we have covered. Okay, so the first experiment of observation, so how can you write, so basic tools of AutoCAD. So what are the basic tools I have covered? Limits, units, line, dimension, then trim, copy, mirror. So these are all the options. Okay, so you just mention the basic tools of AutoCAD as your first exercise, and you mention the shortcut for the same. Okay, so you write it as that thing. Okay, so if you can't able to recall the things, so the recorded video will be shared. You can have the track, and you should draw the first exercise, or if your observation will be, the first exercise of your observation will be what? AutoCAD. Okay, so the basic tools of AutoCAD, you have to draw, you have to write all the things. So after that, the second exercise, design of retaining wall. So in place of design of retaining wall, you just write the design of cantilever retaining wall. You just cover and you draw the sketch roughly also. While so you complete your observation,